Ubud, this place has a rhythm all on its own. It's not just in the landscape or the cultural landmarks, it's in the way life and food are intertwined. Here, the meals tell a story that spans generations. Over the next few days, I'll explore Ubud's rich gastronomic culture, meeting the people who keep these traditions alive while continuously innovating in ways that honor and respect their land and heritage. Food in Bali represents more than just sustenance. It's a reflection of spiritual beliefs, community, and history. You see this clearly in the carvings at Yepulu Temple, which depict the agricultural practices and communal meals of centuries past.
These carvings reveal the depth of Ubud's relationship with food and its respect to the land. The rituals around planting, harvesting, and preparing meals aren't just survival. They're about maintaining balance between human, nature, and spirituality that permeates all aspects of life. Everyday actions like cooking and eating carry significance that go far beyond the plate.
Untuk terakhir namanya pulu, penyimpanan beras. Dari penyimpanan semuanya.
Bapak, saya penasaran banget dengan sejarahnya warung babi guling Ibu Oka. Boleh diceritain sedikit bagaimana mulainya, sejarahnya?
Mulainya dulu mertua saya yang jualan babi guling. Setelah mertua nggak ada, Bu Oka mewariskan mertuanya.
Iya.
Jadi keturunnya deh. Iya, bukan Bu Oka emang, mertua.
Iya.
Setelah mertua sudah nggak ada, saya mewariskan.
Terus aku juga penasaran sekali, gimana babi guling Bu Oka bisa sangat populer di kalangan wisatawan tapi tetap mempertahankan sebagai sebuah representatif budaya makanan Bali yang sangat kuat.
Itu udah semua bumbu-bumbu itu saya pertahankan, nggak ada perubahan dari mertua gitu. Semuanya saya pertahankan.
Dari dulu sampai sekarang itu tidak pernah diganti ya?
Dari yang diajar sama mertua itu.
Benar-benar menghormati dengan resep yang dari awal itu.
Kalau saya yang Suno Bali juga pakai lain harganya juga lain, rasanya juga lain.
Ibu Oka itu benar-benar menghormatkan dengan resep asli dari pertama sampai sekarang.
Bagaimana dikasih udah mertua.
Dan tidak pernah diganti.
Enggak pernah dirubah. Enggak berani. Kalau Bali itu enggak berani. Udah ada guru gitu. Kalau ada orang ngasih ini dan enggak pernah berani Ibu Oka. Enggak berani.
Menurut aku itu hebat sekali sih.
Iya.
What fascinates me about babi guling is the uniqueness of its spice blend. But what fascinates me about Ibu Oka specifically is how unapologetic she is in not compromising on a family-old traditional recipe. Here, you have it marinated in turmeric, lemongrass, galangal, and a multitude of other spices, which really sets it apart from a lot of its East Asian roast pork counterparts. Once marinated, it's then roasted over flames, manually turning it consistently over 5 to 6 hours. Coffee was introduced to Indonesia centuries ago, but here in Bali, it has taken on a life of its own. Grown in volcanic soil and processed with age-old methods, Balinese coffee stands apart. What makes it truly special is the role of smallholder farmers who have preserved these traditions across generations. It's incredible how much care and heritage goes into every step of making coffee here at Bali Pulina. I'm always drawn to the stories behind the ingredients, techniques, and the people who carry these traditions forward. So I'm very excited to be speaking to our friends here and how they make things happen.
This is what we use to brew our coffee. So we do by 360.
Oh, that's delicious.
This place is truly something else. Here, dessert takes center stage, and every dish is made from a multitude of ingredients fresh from the garden. What strikes me in how such a contemporary setting, a deep connection to local produce isn't compromised.
As an Indonesian chef, reclaiming the respect of my home country's local narrative authentically is so important to my practice. Here in Hujan Lokal in Ubud, it's evident that it is a heartfelt tribute to authentic Indonesian cuisine, deeply rooted in local culture and traditions. With a found and foraged philosophy, Hujan Lokal emphasizes the use of locally sourced ingredients from local artisans and farmers, bringing the vibrant flavors of Indonesia to a table.
I mean, you know, when I first came here in 75, before you were born, and what I found back then was, it was like the women were driving the culinary scene here. I really felt that. So if I think about our favorite warungs, they were all run by ibus, you know, mothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they were all highly charismatic, gorgeous people. So it just set the scene for this quite extraordinary culinary village. I kind of love that old sense that the women were the kind of the pillars behind the cuisine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
I think what's so beautiful about the gastronomic culture in Bali, or Ubud in specific, is how closely and intimately tied it is in the cultural practices and beliefs that people engage in. How do you think people are able to preserve this with integrity, especially in the face of a lot of modernization and development that's happening in the world today?
But from what I've seen over more than 30 years, they're still totally dedicated to those traditions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still very serious.
Yep.
It's still prepared by hand, chopping meba.
Exactly.
I think because deep down they love it.
It's true. There's that really strong sense of pride and just that sense of respect through the histories of culture that they've engaged in. Why do you think it's so integral that, you know, gastronomy is something that attracts, you know, the visitor and the passerbys of Ubud and Bali?
Yeah, I think, you know, I mean, we started the Ubud Writers Festival, of course, but deep down I really wanted to create a food festival, but I knew back in the early days it wasn't the right time. I think people realised as time went on that, hang on a minute, if they tried the local flavours, it's really exciting. So I thought, okay, let's do it. But, you know, with the Ubud Food Festival, it's not just about Balinese food, but it's about all Indonesian food.
Absolutely.
Like showcasing what the archipelago has to offer, because it's phenomenal.
Exactly.
How are you, Rahel?
Hi there, I'm great. Thank you so much for
Welcome to Kawi.
It's fascinating to see how Kawi integrates local flavors into modern mixology. They don't make just great drinks, but explores new mediums and boundaries in cocktail design while still paying respect to and give credit to the local produce and culture.
Here we try to exploring what we have.
Right.
Because like, you know, in Indonesia we have a lot of spice, a lot of ingredients, like a fresh ingredients. That's one we can use for cocktails normally. So this one cocktails inspired by our local drinks, like a healthy drinks. So we call it jamu in Indonesia. Now we have kunyit here.
Lovely.
So the first one.
Which is the turmeric.
Yes.
Lovely.
So the base is from arak. Arak we infused with maize. So that's make the arak is a little bit spicy.
Gorgeous. And
then we have the pineapple there inside.
Lovely.
Lemongrass and turmeric.
Amazing.
The concept is like a jamu.
Okay, lovely. So lovely. These two first cocktails sound very fragrant. And I'm very curious about them.
Sure.
And I'd love to try them.
Okay, let's make it for you.
Fantastic. It really tastes like jamu in
Yeah.
the best way.
Correct.
So it must be healthy.
Yeah, that's why we add more alcohol, so more healthy.
So jamu is a medicinal tonic drink that has accompanied Indonesian for centuries. It's something that's so traditional to our culture and is not just drunk for enjoyment, but also for health benefits. It's often sold by women or, the Indonesian aunties of the street side, where they would carry all the tonics in their back in a big basket. And they would stop as you call for them, and you would make your order of your custom tonic or jamu. And here it's based on the jamu kunyit or the turmeric jamu, which is known for a lot of its anti-inflammatory properties. Cheers.
What's really unique here is how chefs are finding ways to evolve and innovate while still preserving the essence of the culture. This connection to the land and the respect for tradition makes Ubud more than just a novelty foodie destination. It's a place where food comes with a rich background and many stories. Markets like this are the heartbeat of Ubud's culinary landscape. It's here in the freshness of the produce and the warmth of the people that the true essence of Balinese cuisine is revealed. Not just through the food, but the hustle and bustle and the people who make the produce possible. From the suppliers to the vendors, beyond the purchase, it's through these interactions you start to think about how to honor these ingredients on the plate.
Terima kasih.
Ubud's rice fields aren't just visually stunning. They're the heart of a cultural and spiritual system that has sustained communities for centuries. Farmers here at Subak Pulagan are deeply connected to the land and follow the principles of Trihita Karana, which emphasizes harmony between humanity, nature, and the spiritual world. The system goes beyond farming. It's about maintaining balance in the wider Ubud gastronomic culture.
Subak itu sebenarnya artinya apa ya?
Kalau Subak artinya kelompok tani Subak Pulagan. Kalau luas Subak di sini dengan luas 103 hektar. Dengan jumlah petani 240 orang.
Mau nanya juga Pak tentang sejarahnya Subak Pulagan ini.
Kalau sejarah Subak Pulagan dulunya di sini desa tanpa siring. Karena cocok, karena mata airnya dari Tirtampul. Karena di sini datar, otomatis di sini dipakai sawah. Desanya pindah ke Tampak Siring.
Okay. What stands out at Subak Pulagan is the deep inherent connection to the land. The rice grown here is not merely sustenance, it embodies a profound respect and bond with a larger spiritual and cultural cycle. The farmers hold these lands, passed down through generations, in the highest regard. Although selling harvested rice is permitted, they choose to keep 80% for personal consumption as a sign of respect for their ancestral lands. The community of farmers here work under the age-old Indonesian philosophy of gotong royong, which hold its heart in the principles of togetherness and community effort. Farm to table has become such a trend these days, but here, you can tell how every ingredient is treated with the utmost consideration to the land. And naturally, when that respect is paid, you get fresh produce, which is the foundation of any great dish.
And then what we are serving is we are plant-based. Yeah, how we create that from the plant to make delicious and also healthy as well.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
That's why we have a garden downstairs, to cover that.
Yes. How do you think using fresh and local produce, how does that affect the flavors and the taste of your cooking?
Yeah, as you know, plant-based, they teach us to using mostly local produce. At least for me, for us here in Bangsa, we're using almost 90% is local produce.
Amazing.
And we create something to make it, what I mean that, how you can use local produce and giving them the flavor and giving them the value.
Yeah, exactly.
Plant-based, you can do a lot.
There's so much you can innovate through very simple ingredients.
Yes, that's right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can't leave Ubud without something that reflects the heart of this place. At Kayangan Jewelry, the work is crafted by local artisans who have been working here since the 1970s. So this feels like just the place to look for a souvenir from my time here.
What really stands out to me is the intricacy of process that goes behind the pieces, the design and craftsmanship. The meticulousness placed into gastronomy that we've explored so far is evidently extended into the craft in Ubud, not just in jewelry, but also in the craftsmanship of plateware used for both dining and religious ceremonies. These works of craft don't just reflect artistry. It tells a story of culture, heritage, and the role local craftsmanship plays in sustaining the community and the local economy, much like the meticulousness in Balinese cooking.
Your principles stand on a lot of principles of sustainability and zero waste, and also using local ingredients and products. What takes you through the menu process, and what do you start with?
The whole ethos is to use as much as Indonesian produce as possible.
Yeah.
But in different courses, it could be quite a few things. We maybe one day we could bring up a topic of the plastic waste in the ocean. Yeah. Or in the river.
What is your motivation to focus on the use of local ingredients and produce?
I think it super makes sense to use Indonesian produce. I think Indonesian produce and Indonesian food are very much underrated.
Absolutely.
We are really below the radar.
So true. Yeah.
We keep on promoting the same food, and I think a lot of our guests don't know what rambutan is, or what jackfruit can be turned into a tempeh, and what tempeh is in general.
No, a lot of people just think it's a vegan invention,
right?
Of contemporary times.
Right, it's really it's been with us for so many years.
Exactly, for centuries.
And again, for us, for me, I think I know Elke and also agree. I think if we can do this, hopefully we can, the team will follow us in the future. Maybe they could open a restaurant with the similar concept.
Locavore Next is the perfect example of how Ubud is evolving while staying rooted in its values. Here, chefs are creating innovative dishes, but they do so in a way that's grounded in sustainability, community, and local tradition. It's an approach that doesn't just elevate the food, it honors where it comes from. The intricacies of process is evident from the places we've visited today. From the respect for the land and local produce to the physical craftsmanship and cultural significance. This highly considered ecosystem plays a major role in Ubud's economy, and its deep connection to these practices is clear to anyone fortunate enough to experience it. Pleasure of immersing myself in Balinese culture at Visesa Ubud, where the villas are meticulously designed to reflect the Trihita Karana philosophy, harmonizing gods, human, and nature. Traditional aesthetics, respectful interactions with locals, and a rich array of cultural activities, all set against the stunning backdrop of Ubud. I begin today with a platter of traditional Indonesian delicacies.
The history of winemaking in Bali is fascinating. Grape cultivation and winemaking here dates back centuries, with evidence as early as the 9th century showing these practices. What's remarkable here at Subak Winery is the dedication to the local grapes, along with the respect paid to the farmers responsible for them.
In every behind of the label, normally we put like a food pairing, so not just Western dishes like cheese, chocolate, or steak. We also put our traditional food here, like fried duck, baby ketchup, and semur daging. Okay. So this one, the purpose is to tell Indonesian people that wine is a fancy thing, but it's not always paired with fancy food. So we can pair it with our traditional food here.
here.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really important point to make, because what's often overlooked in the world of wines is pairing them also is incredibly suited to foods of marginalized cultures, such as that of Indonesian cuisine, that boasts so much complexities and flavors.
One very important thing is that here in Subak, because let's say I'm French, I don't want to make a French style wine.
Yes.
I definitely want to make Indonesian.
Absolutely.
From Balinese grape wine.
Yeah.
So that's very important to mention. And we actually have great varieties here growing in Bali, the north in Singaraja.
Yeah.
That I fell in love with since my first days working here.
Yeah.
Because there are so many possibilities from these grapes. We can do almost whatever we want.
Right, incredible.
Actually, after we are just transforming the grapes into wine, but the big job, the big work is actually done by farmers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me. I adore a good Nasi Campur, or Indonesian rice platter dish. I'd eat it every day if I could. And the best ones really highlight local ingredients and family recipes. The term hidden gem gets thrown around quite a lot, but here in Ubud, we're blessed with Mekjul, an iconic, unpretentious eatery nestled in the back road of Sayan amongst rice fields. These kind of experiences truly are some of my favorites and the favorite of locals. An essential destination for their delicious Nasi Campur ayam, the iconic Balinese chicken, and rice dish. That is just so delicious, and you can really taste the spices and the fragrances from the Balinese cuisine come through. As a UN tourism gastronomic destination, Ubud has it all. Bintang Supermarket is stocked with fresh, locally sourced and organic ingredients. They're open 24 hours, which means when the morning markets close, you can still count on Bintang to keep your culinary plans on track, no matter the hour. So much more than a delicacy to consume. To me, it's something served to honor its narrative and its cultural origins. Throughout our trip so far, we've had something that has accompanied us throughout: sambal, the fiery soul of Indonesian cooking. And today we'll be preparing two local to Bali. Firstly, we're preparing sambal mata, which is an iconic Balinese relish made out of garlic, shallot, chilies, coconut oil, kaffir lime leaves, as well as lemongrass. So it's super fragrant, very versatile, goes with a lot of seafood or any dish of choice. It's one of my favorite sambals. Optionally, we're going to add some terasi, or Indonesian shrimp paste, which just gives that extra bit of umami to our lovely relish. We'll just be heating it until slightly toasted to release the aromas. Now we'll be adding all our prepared ingredients into the big bowl. Dump it all in, super easy. So everything that's been chopped, a little bit of coconut oil. Season to your taste with salt, sugar, and pepper. Mix it very well and thoroughly. And there you have a very simple and versatile sambal, easy to prepare at home, foolproof. All you gotta do is just chop some vegetables. All in a day's work. And the next sambal that we're about to prepare is another one from Bali called sambal mbe, equally iconic as the last one we've just prepared. It's quite similar to sambal mata in terms of the ingredients, but sambal mata was raw, whereas what we're preparing here right now will be fried. You can use the amount of chilies depending on your spice tolerance. I personally love spice. Most Indonesians do. Just like with the last sambal, we will also be toasting a little bit of terasi because we do love that little bit of added umami. Onto the frying, we're going to want to heat quite a bit of coconut oil. Now we're just about to fry these chopped vegetables. We'll also be adding that toasted terasi. And you want to keep on frying it until it reaches a nice crispy golden brown, like this. We're just going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper again. Mix that thoroughly. And there you go, sambal umbe. So as we've discussed, we've got sambal umbe and we've got sambal mata, two iconic relishes from Bali. We're going to be serving this with our fish that's been deep fried, but of course you can use your choice of ingredient. It's very versatile. So first up with the sambal umbe. Nice, crispy, spicy. It's got that crunch, very Moorish. And next, one of my favorite relishes in the world really is the sambal mata. Fresh and fragrant. And there you go. Two beautiful sambals right here from Bali. Very simple to make at home and very delicious. Crunchy, raw, fragrant, such a showstopper. Ubud has highlighted through its gastronomy how food is more than just ingredients. Ubud harmonizes the culture and the spirit in its food. It's an inherent connection to the land and to the people who keep these traditions alive. It's been a powerful reminder of why I fell in love with cooking in the first place, and the true motivation to my practice. It's about honoring where the food comes from and sharing that story with others.